Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
We're the brothers coming back at y'all with Lord's will, another edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And as always, before we start this lesson, let's give all the praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh,
Bahashem
Bahashem,
Yahweh
Yahweh
Shai
Shai, Bahashem, Rachak.
Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you brothers across the four winds, pushing this truth in all righteousness and sincerity. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to you, sincere Akim Mu'akwath, giving all diligence to make your calling and election sure in these last days.
On the water, bro. Shalom to all you Akim, you Akwat, you brothers and you few sisters that subscribe to this doctrine given through the spirit and power, Yahweh Bashim El Shai, to our beloved elder apostles, on down to the elder bishops, elders, and Akim pushing this gospel and truth and sincerity today. A peace, blessings, and salutations be unto all y'all of the household of faith. Yeah, man. So this last night, yesterday I was doing I did like a walking talk, basically going into vision I had of basically that persecution coming, them or Esau Edom coming in like a flood, them ultimately coming in and hemming those that preach this word, those that are against this system, hemming us up, man, and putting us in these prisons, and I had this lesson, basically I was meditating on this lesson for a little over a week, but about those that are not going to consent to their religion, so to speak, not going to consent to their ways, because those that are of the household of faith, hey, no matter what, we're not gonna consent, man. We're not gonna break.
That's right.
We would rather be put to death, serving Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, for serving Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, than to consent to these damn devils and be put to death anyways, because of how much hatred they have for us, because again, Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, the 5th verse says that they have a perpetual hatred for us. Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, has a perpetual hatred for us, man. And we see that, he's been killing us, putting us to death. And that's just because we are who we are. We're the chosen of the Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shah. We got the blessing and he didn't. He gave it up. And that's why they're constantly putting us to death. So we see that. So if we're gonna be put to death anyways, you might as well be put to death for what is to say? It's better that we suffer for well doing than for evil doing.
Yep.
So we're just gonna ultimately hit the scriptures, man, and bring it out.
Come and get that Maccabees.
Yeah, Baba Kashar, if you could, unless you had a precept or anything like that. Yeah.
Come, this First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41.
Right.
And it reads, "Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people."
Right, man, and this is going back to the Tower of Babel. This is going back to King Nebuchadnezzar. And it's going even to now. The elites of the nation of Esau Edom. Which are the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, the Gates, the Bezos, and so on and so forth. All these elites, they want a what is called an NWO, a New World Order, to where everybody's on the same page. Everybody is basically, believes in the same thing, moves the same way, does the same thing. You're limited. Everybody's limited the same way. And this is back in this is Antiochus the Epiphanes the fourth, right? It's going back into the time of Greeks, right after Alexander, which you can read at the top of this chapter, First Maccabees chapter 1, that Alexander the Crete, he had ultimately, divided after or right before he passed, he divided his lands, into basically his four generals, and the two powers were the Seleucus and the Ptolemaic Empire, which Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth came from the Seleucus Empire, right? The Seleucid Empire, and he was very ruthless, man, and reading about this is basically a part of that Hellenization that happened to our people, which made them put them in that Gentile state of mind, but nonetheless, going into it. It says, I'll read verse 41 again, then the brother will continue. It says, "Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom," because at the time he ruled a very large portion, the largest portion of, Alexander the Great's empire. Again, they divided it, into fours, and he had the largest portion. Ptolemaeus had the second largest portion, right? It says that all people should be one, so that all should be one people's right. So he wanted that one, that basically that new world order to happen, man. Which again, you see that today. So everything that we're reading, not only does it apply back then, it applies today as well, right? Just and brothers was even talking about how they believe that Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe is basically Antiochus the Epiphanes, the fourth in the reincarnation, man. It very well could be.
Very well could be, yep.
Very well could be. So let's keep going. Verse 42.
Can't keep going. First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 42. The reason everyone should, it's like, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Right, leaving the laws, right? So they they don't want us to follow after the ways of the Lord Yahweh Bashem El Shai, because ultimately what it does is it makes them weaker, man. Because we're the majority, right? The Israelites, since scriptures talk about how we're numbered as the sands of the sea, right? So there's more of us than there is them, right? And if we ultimately continue to follow in the ways of our forefathers, following the law, statutes, commandments, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, that's going to take away from their rulership. That's going to take away from their power, because again, they bank on, and their power is in us being, being blind to who we are, being blind to, who our power is, and following after their system, and giving into their system, right? So they don't want anybody to follow in after their own, laws, statutes. They want everybody to follow in their so-called new world order, man. Which you can go into, Esau Edom's Georgia Guidestone. Hey, this is what Esau Edom wants the whole world to follow in. This is what these are the commandments that Esau Edom wants the whole world to follow in, right? Right. So let's continue.
God.
Yep.
It reads verse 42 again. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed,
right,
according to the commandment of the king.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, mm-hmm, and sacrificed unto idols and profane the Sabbath.
Right, and you see this on a daily today, man. You got 2/3 Israelites that have consented, to this lifestyle, man. They you look at Israel today. Hey, what do, man? They worship the image of the beast, man. They love this eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, committing adultery type lifestyle, man. They love the fact that a man can sit here and want to be a female. They're okay with it. It doesn't bother them. Hey, well, those men, that are about Yahweh Bashem El Shai, it bothers the fuck out of us, man. What is that? Second Peter's the second chapter, where Lot was vexed,
day to day, man. Righteous soul.
You know what I mean? Every single, with the conduct of the wicked, the conversation of the wicked. You go in that word conversation, goes into the conduct, the manner, the actions, of the people, man. Vexed every single day that we wake up and we look outside, we see some fucked up shit, man. We're constantly vexed. Hey, but 2/3 of our people, they're okay with it, man, because it gives them a sense of freedom to do whatever the hell they want, Hey, but the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai said what? He gave no one license to sin,
It was just saying John 3rd chapter, men chose darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil, man.
Right, man.
People love to live wickedly. You see, that's why it says in Sirach 19:5, whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness shall be condemned, man.
That's right.
Following after the ways of your oppressor, that's gonna get you destroyed, man.
That's right.
I think it says that in Proverbs, envy not thy oppressor and choose none of his ways. Very simple, man. This devil is an example, what I'm saying, of why we shouldn't follow him. I mean, look what he's doing to the earth. You see, look what he's doing to the food. Look what he's doing to the water. Look what he's doing to you. You see, but you still have our people that trust in him and his system. You see, it says that too. Surely in vain is salvation hoped for from the mountains and hills. Mountains and hills represent governments, man. You see, so it's in vain that it says in Lamentations, man. You see, we have watched for a nation that cannot save us.
Currently, I just want to go into this as well. Proving that this isn't something new. We're reading about this in the time of the Greeks. Hey, but that same thing is happening today. You know, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, "A thing that hath been is that which shall be," right? And this hath been, you know, in the time of the Greeks, this hath been, it's already happened, it's already passed, right? It says that is that which shall be, right? So that same thing is, and it's sort of like a sort of a, you know, history repeating itself, so to speak. You know, it says, "And that which is done is that which shall be done, and there was no new thing under the sun," right? So ultimately, again, we're seeing this same thing, you know, that is in the time of Antiochus and the Greeks, you know, that the Israelites are consenting to, you know, this religion, consenting to this you know, this philosophy. Hey, you see 2/3 of our people are in the same mindset, man. They're agreeing to this lifestyle, you know, and they agree to, you know, what comes with this lifestyle, and the death, and the rapings, the murders, the lynchings, and so on and so forth that come with it. You know, they're okay with that, man. You know, Jake don't really give a fuck. You know, the average Jake, when he sees a Jake get killed, you know, by an Esau, like he don't, it doesn't phase him, man. You know, it's like it don't make him mad or anything like that. They want to talk about how the system isn't for them. You know, you got these gang bangers and stuff like that. They want to talk about how the system isn't for them and this, that, and the third, but they're not even focused on the system. They just want to talk. Their whole main focus is on their op, you know, which is truly their brother, man. You know, they see their own brother as their enemy, when their enemy is the one that is the one that set up this whole system, man.
Mm-hmm.
Their enemy is the one that's killing them, truly killing them. Now we're, you know, obviously our people are killing themselves, you know, which is part of the curses, you know. His brother shall be evil towards, you know, his own brother, so to speak, you know. But still, man, the enemy, that's not the person you should be focused on. You should be focused on Esau Edom, man. You know, that's who our enemy is, man. You know. But again, Jake wants to, you know, be a part of this system rather than be a part of Yahweh Shah's system, man. You know, which is in righteousness,
That's right.
which is a perfect system. You know, unless you got
Okay, let me,
something,
let me finish that on. Keep
unless
going
you
there.
got something.
Oh, no, I got you.
Yeah, we can keep going on that.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 44. And it reads, "For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land,
Right.
and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days."
Right. So, you know, ultimately, you know, making it to where we can't, you know, we can't follow the law, statute, members of, you know, the Heavenly Father, man. Which again goes this right here, what we're reading into, what we're, you know, as we get deeper into it, is ultimately, you know, really the main part of that Hellenization that happened to the Israelites, you know, putting them into that Gentile state of mind, you know, because it was the law, statute, members, Yahweh Shem Shai was beaten out of us, you know, it was forced out of us. They did a lot of, you know, using fear to make sure that we don't follow in the law, statute, members, Yahweh Shai, right? Keep reading.
Come. It reads, verse 46, "And pollute the sanctuary and holy people,
Right.
set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts,
Mm-hmm.
that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation."
Right, man. You know, so you're, which is, you know, it's a law that we circumcise, you know, our child, you know, our men, you know, our male children, you know, on the 8th day, right? And they prevented that, man. Even from, you know, we're talking about all the laws, man. You know, sacrificing clean animals, you know, to Yahweh Shai, you know, making atonement for our sins, this and the third. Hey, they stopped all that, man. You know, stopped all of that. You know, and then and turn around and was telling us that it's good, you know, that you know that we can do whatever we can commit adultery whenever we want. You know, we can sit there and eat swine's flesh, you know, whenever we want. You know, and just as they're doing it today, man. You know, they're pushing, you know, fucking bacon bowls and, you know, fucking bacon bits and every fucking thing, man. Bacon is literally in everything in this world, man.
And it's funny how it's funny how when you first come into the truth, you start to see everything differently, man. When I first came in, I didn't realize how much pork, you know, was in everything, and how it was advertised, you know, as much as before, I never noticed it, man.
Right.
There's a reason to that, man. These devils know, you
Hmm.
know.
Right, man, and they push it so much and so heavy that you know what I mean. And at and this time they were beating their laws into us and the laws of Yahweh Shai out of us so much and flashing, certain things in front of our face that were against the laws of Yahweh Shai so much that you all you could think about is their way, you know,
You don't know nothing else.
like you don't know nothing else, man, at that point,
And then your kids, like the generations after you, they don't know nothing because they weren't taught anything, man.
Exactly.
So they continue in the same ways that they learned, man, which are the ways of the heathen.
And I remember I was watching that the Gentile series of the basically GMS in class, GMS Dallas in class, where it was Elder Yashawamba, the priest Ariella and the priest Shahar and so on and so forth. They were all it really it was the whole camp basically. They were going into it, getting breakdowns and stuff like that, going through the whole Hellenization, and the Gentile state, that we were put in, and they were going through this and stuff like that. And they said that like you got a family reunion, right? You got all the old heads and stuff like that, the family reunion, and as you go on through each generation, that the family has kids, and then the next family reunion is smaller than the last, and then
Right.
smaller than the last, and smaller, and so on. Why? Because they don't just, they eventually stop coming, right? They don't know who their great great grandfather is, or great great grandmother is, or great grandma at that. You know what I mean? So they all slowly start falling away from that family reunion, and usually the family reunion is what ultimately keeps tradition alive. When you get together and you start speaking about certain things, and you get to know who your ancestors were, or your great great grandfather, or your great grandfather, or your great great uncle, or great great aunt, or so on and so forth, and what they did and what they went through, and so on and so forth. Once you start coming around and learning those things, that you don't know who the fuck you are ultimately, man. Tradition is left behind, and that's basically what happened. It was to the point where we didn't even remember who we were, man. Until going back to Abba Vivian's coming on the scene, man. The spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, bringing everything back, man. And then the elder apostles, continue to push this word for 30 plus years, waking up, the hopeful elect, and the elect members, obviously, and obviously, allowing us to come back to who we were in the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. And remember, and go into the word, and go into our heritage, and bring back tradition to the best of our ability,
If I may say too, quick testimony. When I think it was fourth grade, we had each year you had a heritage day, and everybody would come, and they would pretty much talk to the class about what their heritage is, their traditions and stuff. I remember the day before I went to my mom, just way before I came into troop, I was fourth grade, just a little kid, and I asked my mom. I said, well, what's our heritage? And she said she didn't know, you know. And then there's a set time that we were gonna find out, but it just goes to show, we were lost, man. You know, like it says, in the land of darkness have a great light shine unto them. In Isaiah the 9th chapter, you see, and we're in that valley of the shadow of death, in that land of darkness. But this light was given unto us, man.
That's
the
right.
mercy and grace of Yahweh Shemi how shine. You see,
That's right. Let's keep going.
First Maccabees 1:49 to the end. I start verse 48 again.
Yeah.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
Right, and that's exactly what happened, man. Go ahead.
And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
Right, man. And that's crazy, because that same thing that happened back then is coming again. Can we go to Revelations, the 13th chapter and verse 15? Because this right here, this is prophecy. Just as this had already happened, this prophecy had already happened. That same prophecy is going to happen again. Let's go ahead and read it.
13:15.
Yeah, because this is ultimately dealing with the charagma, man. This is dealing with when Esau Edom comes and pushes that charagma, that those that don't consent to it, those that ultimately don't, take it, they're going to be put to death, man. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Which the image of the beast is going into that Roman Greco, lifestyle, that philosophy that's being pushed by the beast, which the beast is NATO and the EU, which again is being headed by America. The headquarters of NATO is here in America, right? So NATO and the EU, being headed by America, is pushing this Greco-Roman type lifestyle, man. You know, of that Senate House, the homosexuality, transformerism, and many other different things, man. You know, that's all being pushed throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Go ahead.
It reads, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast,
Right.
that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast shall be killed.
Right, as many as would not worship the image of the beast, right? So, if you're not gonna, ultimately follow after that lifestyle, what's gonna happen? You're gonna be put to death, man. And part of this lifestyle is taking that charagma, which is soon to happen, man. Esau Edom he's already talking about it, making this CBDC. It's like the CBDCA over in Jamaica. They have something called the Jamdex, which is their central digital bank currency, which the brother Aishalam from GMS Watchman posted yesterday. They they did their first transaction on national TV using their CBDC. So it's the central bank digital currencies is already out there, man. Now they're and they set up digital wallets and everything like that. But now they're gonna come up with a way, of making it more convenient, because they're gonna sit there and come up with excuse. Oh well, you can lose your phone, but you can't lose this. You know what I mean? The little thing that goes in your hand.
There's a website too, Slakia, that's been up for like a past year, and it's called Wallet More. You go on the website, it's all about the little rice grain, man. All it tells you what it can do, all the benefits, and a lot of people know about that stuff, man, because nobody pays attention. This devil likes to do a lot of stuff behind closed curtains. You see,
that's right.
Because this devil based on nobody, looking into things and researching. Which you look at, like 98% of Americans, Babylonians, are all lazy as hell, man. That's why you have the highest rates of obesity here in America. People are lazy. They don't like to do work. But the point is, you go on that website, you can see, man. See, this is about to be it's about to be major when it pops off, man. And that's the last prophecy we're waiting for. You see, got it, bro.
It's crazy, man. But nonetheless, this is this is what's coming, man. So just as it happened, that which have been is that which shall be. Proving more that everything that we're reading here in the Maccabees, it applies to now. So let's go back. I mean, did you finish that off, or is there a little bit more on that?
When we get 16 and 17, or just 15?
No, that was the point. I just wanted to hit the point on that. Yeah, we can go back to First Maccabees.
Continue on to 51st verse.
Yeah, we're gonna read the rest of this chapter.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, come.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 51. In the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, and commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city.
Right.
Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. And
evils are being committed in the land right now, man. The transformerism, which we stated earlier. You got basically, what does it say? It says falling is set in great dignity.
Yep.
If you don't have, for females, if you don't have a fake booty, and fake, fake tits or anything like that, then you're you really ain't got nothing going for you. When it's like, come on, man, I want real booty, man. I want that shit that's gonna fight back. I don't want that shit that's stiff in a mug when you know what I mean, when you're gonna play with it, man. Come on, man. Ain't nobody want that, man. On top of that, a lot of surgeries that happen, with which recently you starting to see them, a lot of like, butt surgery and stuff like that. And a lot of them been going wrong, man. Yeah. So then it like makes it worse than it was before. It's like, come on, man. All this shit is fucking retarded to even think about doing, but nonetheless, all this stuff is happening, man. You got murder happening constantly, and it's happening more and more, the closer we get to Yahweh coming, man. What does it say? It's because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, and iniquity is abounding, man, greatly.
That's right, bro. And that's why it says in Amos, the 9th chapter, in the 8th verse, that the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shai are upon the sinful kingdom, man. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you ask regular people, which we've asked multiple times, regular people, just on the streets, man, while we're doing street teachers and so on and so forth, and you ask them if America's a sinful country, a sinful kingdom, and they'll agree.
I'll tell you.
Random fucking people don't even know, they're just passing by, not even listening to the gospel. You even ask Edomites, and they'll say, yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
They'll fucking agree with that shit, man. So we know it's talking about America, man. The average fucking Joe knows, that's talking about America, but we can continue on.
Con. First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 53. And it reads, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for secure.
Mm-hmm.
Now the 15th day of the month, Caslu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side.
Right.
And burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they had found, they burnt them with fire.
Hey, which this is a prophecy that very well could happen as well. As well. I remember brothers were doing some, sometime like early last year or mid last year. Brothers was going into, how ultimately there was that one senator. I can't remember his fucking name.
Just seize the guns and the Bibles.
And the Bibles, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, yeah.
Why would you take the Bible, man?
That's right. The guns and the Bibles.
Why?
It's like what does the gun have to do with the Bible, man? But nonetheless, this very well could happen here soon as well, man. That they, it really comes because we're ultimately preaching this word, and through the words of Yahweh Shai, this Bible is how Esau Edom's disgusting. How Esau Edom's, his stronghold is being pulled down, man, by the words of Yahweh Shai. And I can almost guarantee you they did not intend for this word to tear their ass down. They used this word, wrongfully, deceitfully, this is what they used to, which you can watch that in, what is it, 12 Years a Slave. They use these scriptures to keep us docile. What is it said? The servant is not greater than the master. They would read that. You know what I mean? So, which would keep us in this, docile. Oh, I gotta, master. Master's great. I love my master. Keep us in that type of mentality, man. That homeborn slave type mentality. They would use these scriptures wrongfully to keep us in that mentality. But now we're using the scriptures rightfully. The way that it should be used. To wake up the elect. To teach the elect. To bring the elect to Yahweh Shai, man.
Mm-hmm.
To bring out this word, man, the fountains of living water, man. To bring life back to those dry bones, because it tells you, and I think it's Revelations, the 11th chapter. It says what? It says and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of that great city, man. And yes, 2/3 of our people are still, there's still those dead bodies. But we got 1/3 of our people, which is the elect. That life is coming back into them, man. And that's the whole reason why this word is coming out, man. To wake up the elect, seal the elect of Yahweh Shai, man, of Yahweh Shai.
Devils can't stop us now, man.
They can't. And this is why that's a major reason why, if not the number reason why, they're gonna come down, because even fucking what's his face, that fucking devil fucking brown hair, blue-eyed fucking fake ass false prophet, Joel Osteen. I couldn't think of his fucking name.
He's a devil. He's a
fucking devil, man. He ripped up the Bible and said this cuts his theology, man. Cuts his whole theology. But you're a fucking Christian preacher. Hey, if you're a true Christian, this doesn't cut your theology, man. This cannot cut your theology, because if you're a true Christian, which really, a Christian, is Greek, but it would be Hamashiachim. If you're true Hamashiachim, followers of the anointed, followers of Yahweh Shai, then guess what, man? This is the 100% truth. Why would you rip this up?
And like it says, if this work be of men, it shall come to naught, man. Gamaliel told that to those Jews who had apprehended the apostles, man. You see, that just goes to show you, man. How Bashim Shah makes it very clear who he's with and who he's not, man.
That's right.
And he's definitely not with these Christian pastors, man.
Right. See? That's right.
I'll keep going.
Yeah. We can keep going.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 57. And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
Right. So if we're to follow after the law, statute, commandments, Yahweh Shai, we would be put to death, man. And we're coming into that time where Esau Edom is going to come down upon those that are against this system and for Yahweh Shai's system, man. For the law, statute, commandments, Yahweh Shai, and they're going to come down having great wrath and apprehend those men that are preaching this testimony, man, preaching, Yahweh Shai, man. And they're going to, some of them are actually going to have to be put to death, man, for the name of Yahweh Shai. Matter of fact, let's go prove that, because again, some are going to have to be put to death. Revelations, what is that, 21 and 4? Just getting the point.
Is 21 and 4?
Yeah.
Oh, 20 and 4, Slacking.
Oh, what is that? Oh yeah, Slakia. Revelations 20 and 4. Yeah, Slakia. Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4. And the reason I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai.
Right, man.
And for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. They lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai 1,000 years.
Right, man. So they were ultimately against this system and for Yahweh Shai, man.
Yeah.
They said fuck that shit, and they were put to death for it, man. So this proof that this is prophecy, man. This is going to come to pass. Those men being put to death. Now it already came to pass, which we're gonna read. Once we finish the all the way down to the end, then some of these these men and women were put to death. For the name of Yahweh Shai's sake, man. So it had already happened. Hey, but guess what? There's prophecies that occur in the scriptures multiple times, right? Just like being put to death for Yahweh Shai's sake, man.
Nothing new under the sun.
There's nothing new under the sun. So these same men and women that died serving Yahweh Shai rather than serving these damn devils, hey, they're gonna have to go through it again. It's just that's their lot, This is how it is.
Even Apostle John, man, he was thrown in the island of Patmos, working on the salt mines for what they said treason. You see, and ultimately too, like the brother said, it says that in Ecclesiastes, nothing new under the sun. You see, so just as our forefathers went through it, we're gonna have to go through it as well. Because at the end of the day, we are our forefathers, man. We don't know who we are coming back, but hey, we are these people that we read about in the scriptures.
That's right.
Like Jeremiah is somewhere here in the earth, Isaiah is somewhere here prophesying. You see, doing the same thing that they've always done, and they're going to get persecuted again.
Hey, well, going into it, for those that are able to receive it, hey, Daniel is John in the, before he was John in the reincarnation, and Daniel was thrown into prison. He was thrown into a lion's den. So he was, hey, come on, he was apprehended. For just praying to the Most High, man. For sticking with the law, statute, commandments of Yahweh Shai, praying to him. Even though it was commanded that he, do what? That he not pray, to his own God, but pray to the God of whoever, man. Pray to some strange God, and he didn't do it. He said hell no. And he was thrown into the lion's den.
Even Apostle Peter, man, thrown into prison.
Right.
After he was commanded to not teach, he told them the wicked rulers of Israel at that time. He said we ought to obey the Most High rather than men.
Right.
You see, he was thrown in prison.
But getting back to the point is Daniel is John, and John was thrown into into that Isle of Patmos. So just as he was persecuted as Daniel, he was also persecuted as John. And he's going to be persecuted coming back. It just keeps going, man. Until that deliverance, to where you're not going to be persecuted anymore, man.
That's right.
But yeah, we can continue.
Verse 58. And it reads, thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month to as many as were found in the cities.
Right.
Now the 5th and 20th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar which was upon the altar of the Most High.
Right.
At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised.
Right. So again, this goes into even these women. There were women that kept the faith. And it's not just men. It was women as well that kept the faith and continue to follow after the law, statutes, members, Yahweh Shai. And they were put to death as well.
Gone. And it reads, and they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them.
Right. So they didn't give a shit. They didn't give a shit about the babies. They didn't give a shit about no one, man. Doesn't it talk about in I think it was Deuteronomy 28th chapter, that nation that would come up against you, who wouldn't show favor to the old, to the young,
Yep.
man, woman, child, don't matter, man. That's Esau Edom, man. Esau Edom has no fucking mercy, and that's why he's not going to receive any fucking mercy, man. Fucking devil.
Yes, the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel, man.
That's right.
That's cruel, man. It says, verse 62, howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing.
Right.
Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died, and there was very great wrath upon Israel.
Right, man. The point is, verse 63, wherefore they chose rather to die, man. They said, no, we're going to serve the Lord Yahweh Shai. We would rather die, than to serve this fucking devil, man. And this is the main point of the whole lesson, man. A Lord will part the elect. We're those ones that are going to choose rather to die than to serve this fucking devil and his false ass God, man. And ultimately it comes by that wisdom, man. Because ultimately, even if you do consent to this damn devil's religion, he's gonna kill you anyways. Can you grab 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter, the 69th verse? This damn devil, he's a fucking devil, man. If you being an Israelite, if you consent to his religion, Ezekiel 35:5 doesn't just doesn't just die out. It just doesn't become true anymore because you consented to his religion. All of a sudden, you're his best friend. Hey, look at the Israelites today, man. A lot of them consent to his religion, man, and Esau's still out here killing us, man. So why the fuck are you gonna try and be buddy and consent to the religion of this damn devil, and he's still gonna fucking kill you, man?
Never trust thy enemy, man. It's clearly written.
Clearly, man. Go ahead.
2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 69. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot.
Right, so he gonna kill your ass anyways. He gonna fucking kill your motherfucking ass anyways, because he don't care about you. When it comes to his new world order, there's almost 8 billion people on the planet right now, right? And the majority of those people are us, right? Israelites. We're numbered as the sands of the sea. We are the majority. Esau Edom is literally, he's the minority out of all the nations in the world. Esau Edom is the minority. He is the smallest, right? As far as number, as far as population, he's the smallest, right? Because no one, you remember I was watching a video of these cops that were sitting in this like garage, and
oh yeah, I remember you
saying that. They were talking about basically like nobody wants, the white man doesn't even want the white woman no more, so the so-called, you know what I mean, that Esau, like staying with Esau type thing, it's not happening. It's not happening, Now we know the lineage is through the father, so still, no matter what they look like, they're still Edomites, But nonetheless, Esau is not growing as much. Esau's posterity is getting lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. That's just how it is. A lot of people don't even want the white man anymore. A lot of these women don't even want the white man anymore. That's just how it's happening, man. So Esau's fucking dying off, man.
Yep, it's true. I'm gonna keep going on that.
No, that's basically it on that. But I want to go to I don't know what my point was, where I was getting at with that. I kind of lost it, but we can go to 2nd Maccabees. I mean,
still want to get that account with Eleazar.
I mean, the sixth and the seventh chapter of Second Maccabees are heavy, man. You know, we're talking about real heavy because it literally goes into, you know, at the you know, around that time, you know, matter of fact, yeah, we'll start at you know, chapter six. We'll just go into it because the very beginning of it, you know, if you read the little heading right here, it goes right into that same time as First Maccabees, the first chapter where they were literally trying to get us not to follow in the laws of our forefathers, man. You wanna read that little heading?
Yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Con. It says
It's a little heading that's, I don't know if you can see it. It's a little heading that's right here, right before the actual chapter starts. So go ahead.
Con. It reads: the Jews are compelled to leave the law of the Most High.
Which we read in First Maccabees, the first chapter, right? Go ahead.
And it reads: the temple is defiled, cruelty upon the people and the women, and exhortation to bear affliction by the example of the valiant courage of Eleazar, cruelly tortured.
Right. Because this is one of those men, you know, which was one of the ancient of the Israelites, you know, who they tried to compel to follow after, you know, their sort of religion. And he was like, hell no, I ain't gonna do that shit, man. You know, he was a great example, you know, to those that were under him, not to follow after this damn devil. And we're gonna read that. Go ahead.
Kind of first verse.
Yeah, we'll start at the first verse. It's only what 30 verses. We're gonna get the whole thing, man, because the whole thing is real fucking heavy. And we might just, you know, skim over the seventh chapter. You know, we're already almost at an hour, so we'll just go ahead.
Consists of Second Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 1. And it reads: not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers, and not to live after the laws of the Most High.
Right.
And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place.
Right, to basically, you know, worship a false god, man. Go ahead.
It reads: the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful.
Right. So they ultimately not only did they make the the temple of Yahweh Shai a you know, a den of thieves, as he's called it, but he also made it a you know, a whorehouse, so to speak, man. You know, you got fucking, which, hey, you look at it today, and that's exactly what it is. You know, I remember, you know, when I was in the world in the end, I used to go to church. You know, I was never really into church like that, man. I've always like thought that there was something fucking wrong about that shit, man. You know, standing in fucking church for fucking 2 hours, you know, for an hour and a half, them listening to music, and 30 fucking maybe 45 minutes of them, you know, actually, you know, doing motivational talk, never really bringing out scripture, but just doing motivational talk. And then they would send the younger crowd, you know, or to their little young, you know what I mean, whatever you want to do. And they were playing games in there. Like, we're talking about like fucking red light, green light and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, never really doing shit. And a lot of motherfuckers were, you know what I mean? They gave you a choice to be a part of it or not. And then those that weren't a part of it, they were usually on their phone the whole time and, you know, flirting with each other and this, that, and the third. It was like, man, there were so many things wrong with that shit, man. So many dang things wrong with that. You know, and it always sat with me completely fucking wrong. But nonetheless, hey, you see that in these fucking churches today, man, you know, being a den of thieves and being a fucking whorehouse, man. You know, that's exactly what they made it to be, man. You know, go ahead.
That's right, bro.
5 verse 5.
Verse 5, it reads: the altar was also filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Right, man. This again goes into that, you know, that Hellenization. You know, we were, you know, just like Apostle Paul. Apostle Paul called himself a Roman. You know, before he came into, you know, basically who he was and stuff like that. Hey, Apostle Paul was, you know, he called himself a Roman. You know, he knew he was an Israelite, you know, but he called himself a Roman, you know, where he believed himself to be a Roman, You know, just like you had all those we say Israelite foreigners, the Greeks and stuff like that, when they came to, basically Apostle Peter and those of the circumcision, they looked at them like these are heathens.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But those are Israelites, man. They didn't call themselves Jews. They spoke different languages, the languages of the people that they were around, you know. So they were Israelites, but in the Gentile state of mind, being just like the Gentiles, being like the heathens, man.
Yeah.
You know, they forced that onto us, man. You know,
And a lot of Christians like to use that one scripture in the gospel where it says the salvation is to the Jew first and to the Greek.
right?
That's those Greeks were those Israelite foreigners, man.
That's right.
That fell away from the way, of Yahweh Bashim al Shai, man. Pretty much forgot who they were. You see, just like we grew up here. This place is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt. America. We grew up as Egyptians, man.
That's right.
Just like Moses. You see, there came a time when the Lord revealed to us who we were, and we started to remember ourselves and call upon His name, which is happening right now, man.
Yeah.
Keep going. Come on, verse 7. Are we going to verse 7?
Yeah.
And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying. Is that a J or I?
I don't know, man. This is 1611, so some words a little different, man. But carrying
Louis.
Jive or something like that. Juve. I don't know what it is.
Verse 8. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
Right.
And whoso would not conform themselves to the matters of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery.
Mm-hmm.
For there were 2 women brought who had circumcised their children, whom when they had openly led round about the city, the babes hanging at their breasts, they cast them down headlong from the wall. And others that had run together into caves nearby to keep the Sabbath day secretly, being discovered to Philip, were all burnt together because they made a conscience to help themselves for the honor of the most sacred day.
Wow, man.
Damn.
Wow. And this just goes into deeper context of basically First Maccabees, the first chapter of what we read. Right, keep going.
Kind of reason I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation.
Right, man, because we ultimately went against the Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shai, man, constantly, breaking His law, statute, commandments, and so the Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shai punished us, man. It's just another form of punishment. Keep going.
Right. It reads, verse 13. For it is a token of His great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with other nations whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they be come to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth He with us, lest that being come to the height of sin, afterwards He should take vengeance of us. And therefore He never withdraweth His mercy from us, and though He punish with adversity, yet doeth He never forsake His people.
That's right.
But let this that we have spoken be for a warning unto us, and now will we come to the declaring of the matter in few words.
Right.
Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh.
Right. So they ultimately they were, what is it saying? Proverbs, the first chapter.
On the 10th verse.
Yeah, what is that? What is that word?
I have it right here. Entice.
Yeah, entice. There we go. He was basically enticed to eat swine's flesh, man. And to sit here and get his people to follow him, because he was such a head, of Israel at the time, man. He was a head, and everybody looked to him, for guidance. Him as well as other elders as well. But they chose Eleazar, and he he couldn't do it, man. They enticed him hella hard, man. Well, Proverbs the first chapter, man. If a sinner enticed, he consent not. And that's exactly what he did, right? And we're gonna read about it.
Come on. Verse 19. But he choosing rather to die gloriously
Right, choosing rather to die gloriously. Go ahead.
than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment,
Mm-hmm.
as it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for the love of life to be tasted.
Right, man. Start from the top on that verse 20 again.
Con, as it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted.
Right. So ultimately, it's our duty to stand out against these things, man. You know, we can't just drop the law, set your members, see how was shy, man. We're supposed to stand for 'em, man.
Yeah.
You know, hey, there's a thing in the world, man. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything, man. You know, and guess what, man? We're gonna stand for the laws of Yahweh Shai, man. And it tells you in Second Edges, the what is that? The second chapter. You know, those that were getting crowned stood stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shai and His words, man. You know,
Yeah.
which means what? They never fell for any of the shit that was going on, man. But they chose rather to die gloriously, you know? And that's the same spirit that we got to be in. Keep going.
Con, it reads, but they that had the charge of that wicked feast, for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make it as if he did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king.
Right. So they say, you know what? That's okay. You don't have to eat our swine's flesh, you know, but go and go and get you some lamb and act like you eating swine's flesh. So that way they can get, you know, so that way they can follow after our and consent to our religion, but you don't have to. You know, so they tried to make it to where he was deceiving his own people.
Yeah.
Come on, how fucking wicked is that, man?
Yeah, that's wicked, man.
That's wicked as hell, man. Keep going.
Con, it reads that in so doing he might be delivered from death, for the old friendship with them find favor. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereunto he was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by the Most High. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightways to send him to the grave.
Right, he said, nah, fuck that shit. You just gonna have to kill me. Nah, you just gonna have to kill me. Go ahead.
At least, for it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to disassemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being fourscore years old and 10, were now gone to a strange religion. And so they, through mine hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer, should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to my old age and make it abominable.
Right, so he said, you know, desire to live a little time, because one, he was already old, and two, he knew damn well they were gonna kill his ass anyways.
Yeah.
He knew damn well they was gonna kill his ass anyways. Why? Because he knew he was a man studied in the law. He was a scribe. You know, he was a man of old age. So he like you read in verse 23. You know, his ancient years, his old age. You know, his honor of his gray head. You know, his honest education. You know, the holy law that was given by the Most High. He knew all that stuff, man. You know, so he was well studied in it. He knew what was going on. You know, so you gonna have to kill me. Man, you gonna kill me anyways. I'm not gonna sit here and try. I'm not gonna deceive my people. On top of that, he knew that if he did that, not only were they gonna kill him, but more importantly, the Most High was gonna fucking take his ass out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, so he feared the Most High first and foremost, man. First and foremost, he feared the Most High. You know, so he was gonna catch hell from two different ways. Fuck that, I ain't made, man. I'm not gonna catch hell from two different ways. I'd rather catch it from one way, from you, because hey, what does it say? It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living powers. Fuck that shit. Hey, whatever these damn devils do to us is nowhere near what the Most High can do to us, man.
And now you say that, I was reading this article. I don't know if you've seen it, but this woman, she was pretty beautiful, man. You know, looked like she was like Ephraim or something like that. But pretty much, I forgot how it happened, but she had acid that was spilled on her face.
Fuck.
She was beautiful, man. But you know, you feel like a man monster or something, you know. Hey, the Lord can have anything at any time happen to you, man. You see, that's why we always have to remain, like my favorite scripture, Proverbs 23. You see, we be in the fear of the Lord all the day long, man. You see? all the day long, every day.
every day.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Verse 26. It reads, For though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead.
Right,
Dang,
man.
man.
Come on, man. He knew he wasn't going to escape the hand of the Most High, man.
No, can't go nowhere, man.
You can't. You're doing that shit. You deceiving us. You deceiving your own people. Come on, man. You deceiving the people, the people of the Most High. You are deceiving your own people. Hell no. He knew the Most High was gonna fuck his ass up for that, man. You know. Just like if we were consent to Esau Edom's religion, the Most High will fuck us up. Hey, like what it say that those that worship the image of the beast and take the mark of the beast, and what's gonna happen to us in Revelations the 14th chapter, man? We're basically gonna eat up a fucking missile and be tormented in the presence of the Lamb and the holy angels, man. You know.
Yeah. But a lot of people, don't take that prophecy serious.
Oh.
And that's a grievous judgment, man. When we're talking about when the Lord comes back, you're actually gonna have to be in that fire because of that action you took, because of that rice grain, man.
That's right.
You had that one dude, he was a false prophet, but he had a potato chip on his hand.
Oh yeah, taped to his hand.
Yeah, and he was making a joke
man.
about it. You see, all these people that make jokes about this shit, they're gonna take it when the time comes, man. You see, because the scripture say that we walk by faith and not sight, and that scripture is gonna be heavily applied in that time.
That's right.
We're not gonna be able to go to the store. We're not gonna be able to buy a house or anything, man. We're gonna be locked out of society unless we bow down. You see, but we're not gonna bow down, man. You see, because this place is already through, and if you bow down and take it, then you're through too, man.
That's right.
So true it was.
That's right.
Come on, verse 27.
Yeah.
Wherefore now manfully changing this life, I will show myself such as mine age requireth, and leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly
Right.
and courageously for the honorable and holy laws.
Right.
And when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment.
Hey, so as soon as he spoke those wise words, they said, "All right, man, fuck you. They were gonna torture him anyways, man. They were going to torture him, and he knew that. And he said, you know what? What you do to me is nothing compared to what the Most High is gonna do to me. So I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna be a great example to those that are coming after me, those that look up to me, and that's the way it's gonna be." And they took his ass to the torture chambers, man, or just start torture. Hey, who knows what they did to him, man? It doesn't go into incredible detail, what they did to him, but who knows, man? They could have a fucking, just like in Second Maccabees, which we're not gonna go into it. Y'all can read it yourselves. Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter. Hey, there was one of the 7 sons, and his fucking scalped, man.
Yeah.
He literally was scalped. They took his fucking top of his head, his skin over the top of his head off, man, to where you can see his skull.
One of them was burned alive, man. Chopped up and burned alive.
Right.
And it talks about how that smoke from his flesh was going and passing all of them that were standing, like his family, man.
Yeah. So we're talking about some gruesome things that they were doing, man. And who knows, those same things that were, done to them, Esau could be doing those same things to us when the time comes, because we know that persecution is coming. We know Esau Edom is going to come in like a flood. We know Esau Edom hates the fact that what we're preaching, man. Scriptures talk about it's a dreadful sound in his ears, what we're preaching, man. We're preaching the downfall of him and the rise of the kingdom of Yahweh Shai. His kingdom's going down, but Yahweh Shai's kingdom is going to be set up, man. He's not going to be, Esau Edom's not going to be able to set up his new world order. But there is going to be a new world order set up, and that's Yahweh Shai's new world order, man. And again, that Esau Edom doesn't like that shit, man. He can't stand that fucking shit. Scriptures talk about we are not for his turn, man. And we're truly not. And Esau wants all those that are not for his turn to be put to death, man. Because we're affecting others. You start with the elder apostles. What's happening, man? They've already been persecuted. They've I think they were. I can't remember elder apostle. I remember elder apostle Bar saying something like that. I think they were actually thrown into,
I think so. I think it was something like that a little while ago.
Thrown into not a prison, but like a jail cell, like
a holding cell.
Yeah, like a holding cell or something like that. All the apostles, man, they were thrown into like a holding cell and stuff like that. They've came and been enticed with money.
even the Mississippi brothers, man. Kazak was going into that how all these Edomites try to come and fight him because they were teaching.
Yo, yeah.
Remember that, and then they all got locked up or whatnot. I forgot who bailed them out, but persecution right there too.
Right, man.
All these people want to kill us, man. And here pretty soon when it all chaos springs forth, hey, people are gonna be able to do what they want. There's not gonna be no 911. There's not gonna be no firefighters. So the firefighters are gonna be committing some evils too, man.
That's right.
Police, a lot of these police are wicked as hell, man.
That's right.
See that they're just waiting for the opportunity to go and use that gun. I mean, they're doing it now on camera. You see, that's the point.
Yeah, man. That's the time we're coming into. Go ahead.
Verse 29. It reads, "They that led him, changing the goodwill they bear him a little before, into hatred.
Yep.
Because they foresaid speeches proceedeth as they thought from a desperate mind." I'll read that again. It was they that led him, changing the goodwill they bear him a little before, into hatred, because the foresaid speeches proceeded as they thought from a desperate mind.
Hey, well, you go back like Esau, Edom. What does it say? In Psalms the 55th chapter, it says their words were smoother than butter, but war was in their heart. Hey, so Esau, Edom, he'll sit there and speak kindly to you. Hey, but hey, the motherfucker hates you anyways. So they were speaking good words to him, saying, "Oh, well, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that." Motherfucker, hey man, come on, man. If you knew, and on top of that, he was studying the law and all this other stuff. Come on, he knew about Psalms.
Mm-hmm.
He knew about the Psalms. He knew about what King David has said. So that's all. And come on, he knew about all that. He knew about the that sly speech that Esau would come with. It's talking about that goodwill that they had. No, they never had no goodwill, man. It was pure hatred from the fucking start, man. Because then they would turn around. But you see that in these fucking movies that Esau Edom puts it in, right? They'll have somebody find out that they're on the wrong side, and then they'll go to the other side and try to help them out. But then they'll turn around and say, "Why would we want a traitor on our side?" So they would have sit there and done that shit to Eleazar. He would have betrayed his own people, and then would have been with Esau, and Esau would have been like, "Well, you betrayed your own people. Why would we want you on our side?"
Yeah,
and they would have killed his ass,
that's
man.
Wicked as hell too.
That's wicked as fuck, man. So it's like, come on, man. That's Esau Edom right then and there, man. And they put that shit in the movies, man. They show you that that's what Esau Edom does, man. The mindset of Esau, man.
It says that in Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter, man. The enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
Yep.
But in his heart, his mind, he imagineth how to overthrow thee into a pit.
Right.
So meanwhile, this devil's telling you all these things. All right, everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And they're making it seem, they're making it seem like it's gonna be comfortable for you and everything's gonna be convenient. Really, in their mind, they already know what their intentions are. It's to steal, kill, and destroy your ass.
That's right.
You see, a lot of people don't want to hear that. And it's crazy to me that you can't even see what common sense isn't common. You can't even look at this devil's history and what he's done, to you and your people, but you're still gonna trust him, man. It's crazy. It blows my mind every time.
Right.
I'll keep going. Verse 30. But when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, "It is manifest unto the Lord that hath the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in body by being beaten, but in soul am well content to suffer these things because I fear him."
Right, because he feared the Most High, man. Ultimately, scriptures talk about fearing the Most High as the beginning of being accepted of him. And the Lord Yahweh shall take his pleasure in those that fear him, man. So ultimately, he rejoiced in the sufferings that he went through, knowing that he was ultimately he was being persecuted for Yahweh's sake, man. Which is a great honor, and him dying for the name of Yahweh, he ultimately received it. He's part of the elect, man. This man Eleazar is part of the elect, man, guaranteed.
Come on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 13. It reads, "But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Yahweh's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy."
That's right.
So just as we're going through the sufferings for Yahweh, man, hey, we're also going to partake in that glory. Like it says, we are the sons of the Most High, and doeth not appear what we shall be. We know that when we see him, we shall be like him, man. You see, that ultimate reward is coming. It says, precious in his eyes are the death of his saints. See, so you dying in the faith for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that's a very honorable thing.
That's right.
I'll finish this rest. Verse 31, the last verse. It reads, and thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of noble courage and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but to all his nation.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right, man. You know, he died a glorious death, man, an honorable and glorious death, man. You know, for Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
You know, and just for the sake of time, you know, just speeding it up a little bit, man. But you know, this is the time that we're coming into, man, where Esau Edom is going to come down having great wrath, man, and he's going to cast some of the elect members, you know, into prison, and that very well could be us, man. You know, we could possibly be part of the elect, and we could be possibly thrown into these FEMA camps, man. You know, and there's going to be a time, you know, where Esau Edom is going to try to have us take his charagma, man. And what we're gonna have to do is be in the spirit of Eleazar, man. And in the next chapter, the spirit of those sons, and in the spirit of, you know, for you women, the spirit of the, you know, those sons' mothers, you know, which again, you know, for you women that watch these videos, you know, I encourage you to go and read about, you know, read the second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, man. You know, read about how the mother had that manly stomach, meaning she had faith. You know, she kept the faith in Yahweh Shai. She watched her children be tortured, you know, and killed right in front of her, and she still kept the faith, you know, knowing that she was ultimately going to receive her children back unto herself, and she still was put to death herself, you know. So I encourage you to go and read those things. Go and read these chapters. You know, you can reread, you know, the 6th and the 6th and the 7th chapter yourself. But nonetheless, hey, you should read all the Maccabees, man. You know, the Maccabees is super heavy, man. It goes real fucking deep. You know, it goes to some really strong miracles too that were done.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, you know, this time, this is what we're coming into. It's a time that you know is, you know, like scriptures tell you, Habakkuk 2 and 3. You know, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, and we're coming to that time. You know, you always have like a you know, a 2-minute warning, so to speak. At the, you know, in sports, you got that 2-minute warning. Hey, well, we're at the 2-minute warning, man. You know, and that time is right around the corner, man. You know, you got to prepare yourself, man. Prepare your minds. You know, and what does it say? Sirach, the 2nd chapter, the 17th verse. You know, he that feareth the Lord, Yahweh Shai, will prepare his heart, you know, and humble his soul in the sight of the Lord. And go into that word heart. It goes into, you know, your mind, man. It goes into the Hebrew word lav, goes into your mind, you know, which, you know, when you prepare your mind, you equip what is necessary, you know, for a certain event or a purpose, man, you know. So you're going to ultimately gather up the knowledge that you need, and what could and could not happen in the time, in that time that's going to come, you know. So that way, when the time comes, you're not, you know, you're not caught unawares. You have an inkling of what could happen to you at that moment, you know. This is what we need to do, and you do that by taking heed to this word, taking heed to the scriptures, man. You know, because that's what's going to help you get through these times. Like it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be a stability at times, and strength and salvation. And this man, you know, Eleazar, as we read, he had, you know, he was studied in the law, man. You know, and him, you know, pondering to himself, you know, he knew exactly what he needed to do by the law, you know.
Yeah, scripture say throughout the 19th chapter that the performance of the law is wisdom, man.
That's right.
So you applying these scriptures, man, especially in times where it needs to be applied. All right, that's true wisdom, man. You see, we need to pray to Yahweh Shai that we have that spirit to overcome. Okay, it's gonna get fucking hard, man. You know, you're gonna be in situations where you're gonna be put to death, man. There's gonna be no way out. All you're gonna be able to do is have faith in the Lord, man. You know, like I just last precept.
Yeah.
This is Romans chapter 11 and verse 3. It says, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thy altars, and I am left alone. They seek my life. But what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Even so, then, at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. So the elect is not going to bow down. They're not going to submit, all right, to the enemy. They're going to stand, like brother brought it out, second chapter. They're going to stand stiffly for the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, for his word, man.
Right.
See, whatever it takes, even if it means death, man, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. See, that's what we're looking for, man. So whether we die, all right, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, we still win. You know, as long as we keep the faith, man. You see, it's all we have to do is keep the faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, no matter what, man.
That's right, man.
You know,
And what scriptures talk about, you know, that by our faith is how we're going to get out of here, man. By proving our faith by our works and by our faith is how we're going to get out of here, man. You know, so hey, keep the faith, keep doing what is necessary, you know, in order to, you know, be found worthy. Keep fearing Yahweh Shem El Shai. Hey, we're almost out of here, man. You know, hey, so you know, with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. A double honors to the elder apostles and other bishops of Great Millstone who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim I heard pushing this gospel of truth and sincerity. I want to say Shalom, Kwame Yasharallah, and Abba Shalom.
Stay strong.